Hey everyone, it's me again, Makeda Valletta, talking in two cameras. I'm on IG Live and also recording for YouTube. So if you don't follow me on YouTube, follow me at the Renaissance Amazon. If you don't follow me on Instagram, follow me at the _Renaissance_Amazon_81. So I have this whole sexuality thing on my mind today, and this is something I've thought about a lot, and I wanted to make a video about this before, talking about erotic art and the sacredness of erotic art, even how it relates to porn. Again, you know, a lot of people, because of patriarchal religion, and I will keep talking about the problems of patriarchal religion, because most of the problems on this planet and perversion is coming from that. It's coming from the misuse of power and control from patriarchal religion. Now, a lot of people have heard me talk about how I believe in open relationships. I'm not against marriage. You know, I'm into pre-colonial ways of being. Before we were colonized, and I say we, I'm talking about Native Americans, I'm talking about Africans, I'm talking about Polynesians, the whole world, you know, before we were colonized. And specifically, we could talk about Africans and Native Americans, Polynesians, right? Because I know for a fact in those cultures, their pre-colonial cultures, there was marriage, but people still had sex freely. You know, people had sex freely. One thing, and there was a few reasons for that. One was because of securing ties with different groups. So if you're like in a certain tribe, if some chiefs, some Native American chiefs, some certain tribes would send their wife to have sex with the chief of another tribe, because at a time of famine or battle, now you have allies, right? In matriarchal traditions, the men took care of all the children as if they were theirs. And the bloodline was traced through the mother. So it didn't matter who the father was, it just mattered who the mother was. Everything was traced through the mother. If all the men in that tribe, in that civilization, took care of all the kids as if they were theirs, then you had no fatherless children, right? But under patriarchy, things are traced through the father, and this one father is responsible for these kids and taking care of these kids. So then it becomes a bigger deal to know exactly who the father is, and women are shamed if we don't know, or whatever, you know. And that's under patriarchal traditions. Matriarchal traditions were different. And so a lot of the, you know, sacred sexuality, a lot of people know about the Kama Sutra in India, but there are many, there's a lot of erotic art that's been uncovered in caves. Even in the United States, I have a book at home, it's called The Fire and the Serpent. I don't have it with me. But that book talks about erotic cave art in Nevada and California. And it goes through all this Native American erotic art that's found in these caves in Utah and California. And the missionaries, when they saw it, they were ashamed of it. They were embarrassed of it. They tried to destroy it. Things from matriarchal traditions were always, the patriarchal religions always try to destroy that evidence. But I always said, what is written in stone? You know, we always talk about what's written in stone. So if you have erotic art in the stone walls, you know what I'm saying, and now they're uncovering them in different parts of Asia, you know, in this cave art, it showed the connection between sex, sexuality, sexual energy, and hunting, for example, you know, because hunting is connected to life or death, and hunting is spiritual. In traditional cultures, it was spiritual. Another reason why I'm not with the vegan shit. When people say they become a vegan, be spiritual, hunting was spiritual. And there are deities associated with hunting. In Africa, in the Americas, every culture had deities associated with hunting. Plants are just as much alive as animals. There's no, you know, so that vegan shit, whatever. Now, the thing is that people, you know, now porn is like the #1 selling thing. A lot of people watch porn. Even though people like to diss porn stars and make fun of porn stars, who knows where people would be without porn, you know, because a lot of people watch it. And people are made to feel ashamed about it, and like something's wrong with that. And I watch porn. I will always watch porn, and I don't feel like it messes up my mind or my sexuality. I don't. If somebody already has a messed up mind and sexuality, it's not from porn, you know. And if you have unhealthy sexuality in mind and have issues in suppression, then maybe porn is a problem for you, you know. But to me, I see the desire and popularity of porn to be connected to erotic art. You know, erotic art has always existed. There's a lot of ancient erotic art. And why is that? Because I'm always talking about the connection between sexuality and spirituality. There's a connection between sexual energy and spiritual energy. There really is. I'm talking to two cameras, so sorry, I'm looking all over the place. So yeah, there's a connection between sexuality and spirituality. And I've learned that a lot from studying dances of the African diaspora. Somebody asked me would I ever do a porno. No, I'm not a porn star. I couldn't do a porno because sex for a job, like acting and doing movies, that's like acting. And I'm too picky. Like, my body's too sensitive. I'm too picky about stuff, so I could never do that job. Despite the stigma that comes on you, which I think is ridiculous, for the stigmas that come on porn stars, because we all watch porn, we all have sex, we all come from sex, you know. Now, granted, a lot of porn is limited, maybe made by men, but there are feminists and women who are making women-centered porn, but a lot of people are turned on by different things. So there's like a lot of potential for a broad spectrum of things. But I just think that, you know, under patriarchal religion, anything erotic is shunned. Anything other than heterosexual, monogamous sex is shunned. And that is not how indigenous cultures were. Another book that I recommend, and I'll post the book on my Instagram, but I might have to wait till I get back to New York because, I mean, not New York, Chicago, because it's in my place in Chicago. But there's another book called Sex at Dawn. If you read any other book in life, if you read no other book in life on sexuality, you must read the New York Times bestseller, Sex at Dawn. Must read that book. Because there's a lot of myths that's perpetuated about sex and sexuality, that like, oh, men like variety, and women are just happy and they feel secure, they don't need anything else, and this idea that men have this insatiable appetite for sex and women don't, and women are just supposed to be. This book, Sex at Dawn, is the best book hands down ever written on human sexuality, and so you need to check that book out as well. A lot of the books and research I've done just confirm things I've already known, but research is important, and what is written in stone is important. You know, there's indigenous people cosmology. Their cosmology and spiritual beliefs were connected to the ancient art. That's why I'm such a student of indigenous art, whether it be the dances, whether it be the cave art, whether it be the songs. You know, you have to look at that, because nobody, especially indigenous people, are going to take the time to put things into sacred caves if they don't have a really important and special meaning in their cosmology, spiritual belief of that society. So that's just something to really think about. So yeah, I'll post some books below on my YouTube page. I'll post the names on my YouTube page below my video. I will post the names of some books to check out, so you can start doing research. It's time for people to start uncolonizing their mind. Decolonize your mind, decolonize your body. And when people talk about the matriarchy, a lot of people have no idea what that is, because they have never studied that. They've only studied Jesus or whatever other patriarchal religion they've studied. So to them, this is like some far-fetched thing or something that never existed. Or they think that under matriarchy, men were suppressed. Men were not suppressed under matriarchy. They were not. It's patriarchy that started suppressing people. It's patriarchy that started suppressing sexuality and putting the fear of God into people. It's patriarchy that started coming up with these cruel punishments for people, for the witches, the woman who had the herbs to make birth easier, the woman who had the herbs for abortion, the woman who had the herbs for women's herbs, you know, to help women in our fertility and our health. They were all considered witches. You know, and under matriarchal traditions, you cannot talk about goddesses without dealing with sexuality. Whether we're talking about death, we're dealing with sexuality. In New Orleans, people dance at death, and the dances they do are very erotic and fun. Same thing with Haiti and the Day of the Dead. There's a connection between death and sexuality. So even in that case, in matriarchal traditions, when it comes to the healing arts, all of that, you know, sexual energy and sexuality is directly connected to that. And so there's so many issues with patriarchal religion, but that's one of them. So I just wanted to do this little brief talk. I got some stuff to do, just some things in my mind about erotic art, and just all the shame that people feel for being horny and having sexual desires and thoughts. You know, as long as you're not thinking about or fantasizing about something sick, like raping somebody, messing with kids, messing with animals, or messing with somebody in your family. As long as it's not those things, then people should not feel guilt around that, and people should not suppress themselves, because sexual suppression makes you crazy, which is one reason why monogamy is hard for me, because I am not going to suffer. Like, if I'm with somebody and they're not doing what they need to do, or they're not around, I'm not one to sit and suffer, because you can't think straight. You know what I'm saying? Can't think straight. Everybody can't be everybody all the time. But I know that I'm into my health. And healthy sexuality, intense and frequent orgasms, especially for women, is really important to maintain our like niceness and our sanity. Which is one of the things I noticed with Joe Buttons on Love and Hip Hop. Like, since Santana needs not be with him. That dude is a straight up narcissist. And I think all of you should educate yourself on narcissist and narcissism. You'll thank me later, trust me. Okay, so follow me on YouTube, follow me on Instagram. I gotta go. I'm in New Orleans. I gotta run and go get some herbs and do some thingies. But I love you guys, and thank you for listening, and have a good day. Bye.